Loyalhanna Lake is a man-made reservoir, one of 16 flood damage reduction projects in the Pittsburgh District of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It's located between New Alexandria and Saltsburg in western Pennsylvania. In the summer, the lake is about 4 miles long and covers about 400 acres. The dam, completed in 1951, is located on Loyalhanna Creek, 4.5 miles above Saltsburg, Pennsylvania. My trip today will begin at the Bush Recreation Area and go upstream about 3.5 miles, where I'll have lunch, turn around, and come back. This is the boat launch area of the Bush Recreation Area. Got this big flat area where most of the people launch their canoes and kayaks, and also people will go swimming there. Off to the right, in the background there, is a floating boat launch for power boats. Power boats are allowed on the lake here, and mostly you get bass fishing boats here, and some jet skis, some stand-up paddle boards. You can see here on the left-hand side there's concrete parking bumpers, and I've been here at times when those were under a foot of water, and a lot of that gravel was all covered up as well. Now my boat weighs just under 50 pounds, and that's about all that I really care to be carrying around. It is a little bit of a novelty having a covered boat. I'm used to open canoes and sit on top kayaks, so having hatches to put things in is interesting. Here I'm putting a Camelback water reservoir. I have a couple of quarts of water. Here I'm putting in a little chair, OneTigris brand chair that I'll be sitting in for lunchtime. There's a bilge pump in case I capsize, need to pump out the boat. Bilge sponge, a line in case I need to tie up the boat somewhere or tow the boat. That blue thing was a bit of a sponge. I could wet my arms in case it gets real hot. And this is a drip skirt. We'll put that up in front of the cockpit under the bungees, so be ready to put on once I'm in the boat. And here I'm putting together my Greenland paddle, carbon fiber Greenland paddle. And now I'm putting on a mounting post on the back of the boat, the aft of the boat, for a GoPro camera. Made this mount myself out of a stainless steel pot, a 2-foot long carbon fiber post, and some miscellaneous hardware. It raises up the camera up behind you. And next I'll be putting a mount on the front, a suction cup mount for another camera. Get a view from both directions. Now it looks like we're all ready to set sail here. And the moment of truth arrives. Sit down on the back of the cockpit, use the paddle, stabilize things. Plop down into the seat once both of my legs, both of my feet are inside the cockpit. Bop. And just a matter of buttoning things up, put a skirt on, and we're ready to go. So I just went out maybe 20, 25 yards and turned around and so that you can get a look at the launching area and see the background where my car and trailer are parked and other cars are parked. One thing about this being a flood control reservoir is that you get a lot of debris in the reservoir. You can see some trees floating in the background. And the water here is also very shallow. It's less than a foot deep. And that happens in a lot of areas in these flood control project lakes. And this is just a view from the boat launching area out across the lake. Now the dam is off to the right and around the bend, about half mile. So let's get underway. On this particular day, I saw bald eagles 4 or 5 times. It's difficult to get photographs or videos of them with these GoPro cameras. They're usually way out in the distance, and the cameras being wide angle, everything looks very, very small. The temperature on this day was in the low 80s, but with the sun beating down, it was plenty warm. You see, I'm all smeared up my face with the zinc oxide sunscreen. I have the big floppy hat with the cape in the back, keep the sun off my neck. And also, I have gloves on my hands to prevent the backs of my hands from getting sunburn. I've never seen the water run clear here. I guess it's just the nature of the flood control dam that the water stays cloudy. A lot of silt in the water, and that causes problems when you're trying to find some place to land. Now up ahead on the left are some sedimentary rock cliffs, which would be familiar for anyone who has paddled a canoe or kayak here before. And even the power boats are able to go up this stretch here. This is the start of the Loyalhanna Creek, or actually the mouth of Loyalhanna Creek, where it empties into the lake. Beautiful day to be out on the water. So far I've seen half dozen, 8 herons, 3 or 4 bald eagles, lots of fish jumping. And once I got past the marina, nobody but me. And just quiet. Nice sunny day. Supposed to be in the mid-80s today. Fortunately, most of the Loyalhanna Creek is shaded. Keep dunking my hat in the water. So, keep at it. Now here's a place where I'm drifting past some snags of wood. Now I paddled up to a quick speed and then stopped paddling to take these photographs. And this shows you just how slick this kayak is and how far it will glide. It's the best kind of boat for long distance touring and kayak overnight camping. Now the area is secluded, but it's not wilderness, so you'll hear helicopters and airplanes, occasional highway noise, or even some construction or industry noise. Now, being a flood control project and simply being a dammed up Loyalhanna Creek, the area is pretty shallow, but the banks of the creek are really pretty steep and making it difficult to find places to get in and out of your boat.
Try to stick to the shadows here. Shadows of the shade of these trees.
Here's a space where the Loyalhanna Creek makes a turn to the left, and on the right or straight ahead is an area that's a lagoon, and the wind has picked up a little, and you'll see me reach down right there and put the skeg down. That helps keep the boat going in a straight line when there's a wind from the side. And here's a photograph of the skeg on the bottom of my kayak. It's the black fin that you can lift up out of the way when you don't need it. And you may wonder about me being out alone. There is good cell phone service in this area. My wife knows a detailed route of exactly where I'm going. And I have an emergency locator beacon that I can activate should I be in a very threatening, life-threatening situation. Well, I'd been paddling about an hour and 15 minutes, decided to pull over, take a rest. One of my favorite snacks is by the manufacturer Pro Bar. It's their Bolt Energy Chews. They're like gummy bears, but not quite as sweet, and they have, electrolytes and other things. Here I'm taking a drink from my Camelback, which is laying on the floor behind my seat. And fluids in, fluids out. Now this is something simple that I really enjoy. Soaking my hat in the water, getting it damp, it really keeps my head cool. Although I worry about losing my hat, so I keep a firm grip on the string. The thing is, the water drips down my glasses. And you have to be careful about running into trees. Well, for about the past half hour, I had been looking for a place to pull over and have lunch, but all I found was muddy banks until I came upon this set of steps and a nice stony bank, stony ledge there. And here it's the Manito canoe launch. It was just perfect perfect place to stop. Well, it was time to get back on the water. The camera I had on the bow of the canoe, the front of the canoe, was controlled by a little battery-powered remote control, and here you can see me trying to get the darn remote control to turn the camera off and on, but it wouldn't work. Here I'd gotten the remote control waterlogged and it stopped working. So I was already in the boat. I wasn't getting out again just to start or stop the camera. So I just let it run. I figured the battery would poop out sooner or later. But in the end, it worked out good because I made a time-lapse photograph, a time-lapse video of the first portion of me heading back. The only problem is that you can only watch a time-lapse video for so long. It looks like a helicopter. You get some idea how twisty and turny Loyalhanna Creek is here. Well, we're back to real time here. Past those log snags that I videoed earlier. It was about this point I started realizing I had several and many itchy spots on my legs. I'm usually not bothered by bugs, and I didn't put any insect repellent on today, but I should have, because by the time I got home, I wound up having about 10 bug bites on my right leg, and 2 on my left leg, and 1 on my right thumb, and 1 on my left elbow. Well, the lesson learned is next time, wear insect repellent. Overall, it was a great day out, good weather, covered about 7 miles, good exercise, got to see a bunch of wildlife. Here we're coming up back on the boat launch area, and all there is left for me is to land the boat, unpack, tie the belt down onto the trailer, and get out of my wet shoes and socks, and head back home. Thanks for coming along on the trip today. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe. You'll automatically get notified when my next video is posted. Have a great day, like I did.